I spent 6 hours splitting oak yesterday, and I can't start that yet because it's too early. So what I've decided we're going to do today instead is process this maple. For those that have seen this in a couple of the previous videos, this is a maple I harvested in maybe July. Brought it home, waxed it, put it in the garage, but we need our garage back, winter's coming. So today we're going to walk through how to process this into something useful for woodworking. I'm going to do 4 videos, 4-part series for those people that want to know how to get basically free bolt turning stock for life with minimal effort. And I'm not exaggerating. Each of these trees gets me between 6 and 8 years of wood turning stock. I got the first one in 2012. Gone through pretty much all of that. I got the next one in 2018, and this is 2024. So as long as I get another one of these every 6 or so years, I'll never have to buy a piece of wood again. All right, let's get to it. All right, good morning. I think I already said that. Step 1, selecting, identifying, bucking, and sealing your log. Step 2, turning your log into a rough stock blank that is properly sealed and can dry. 3, taking your rough blank, preparing it for a turning blank. Step 4, turning it into a bowl. This came from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we're going to do. All right, let's start with step 1. Identifying and bucking your tree to the appropriate size. All right, someone offers you up a tree. You say, hey, I got a big old maple tree. You want it? You say yes. First thing you want to do is you want to go take a look at the ends of it. You want to make sure there's no metal in it. Now, we've talked about that in 2 previous videos. Whether there's metal standing. Why do you want to know if there's metal? Simply so you don't destroy a chainsaw when you're cutting through it. And when metal is in a tree, the moisture traveling up and down the tree will discolor the wood, will stain it. Metal staining is a bluish gray discoloration right here. This is a piece of oak from that big oak we got, and it had metal in it. And you can see this is the end grain. You can see the metal discoloration. And if you were to look at it from the side grain, you can see where that bluish gray is. That's metal staining. When this is in a tree, you have to be extra careful not to cut it with a chainsaw. Some has a little metal, some has a lot. You might ask yourself, well, where does metal come from? I'll show you. This is what's known as a yard tree. It's in my yard. Yard trees get used for things like nails for dog fence collars, or for putting in a pot holder in 2004 that's 12 inches long and is now 8 inches buried into the tree. This tree is growing out this way. At some point, this will be completely gone. Can you imagine hitting this with a chainsaw if you were coming through a tree? So when they cut this tree down here, you're going to see a lot of metal staining. And that's going to tell you that somewhere in the length of this tree is metal. And here it is right here. Big old piece of iron. A lot because I got my last big tree in 2018. And when I bucked that one, I found this. Metal. I have no idea what these are. But it was in that tree. And I saw it before I hit it, thankfully. So, if you ever do a yard tree, any tree really, watch out for metal. This can be very dangerous. All right, you've got your tree, you've identified it, you now have to buck it. How wide do you make your cuts? There's a couple of factors that go into it. Factor number 1 is just manageability of the pieces. This piece here weighs 145 pounds, that weighs about 180. That's about as much as I can do on my own, and that's just rolling it. So I could go bigger, but bigger is just much harder to process. So there's a cost benefit to how big you go. Also, people don't want big bowls. No one wants to buy a bowl this big. They're wanting something in the 12 to 10 inch range. This is an 11-inch blank, 11-inch template. So besides weight and manageability and size of blank, you are then limited by the length of the tangent across the center of the tree. What do I mean by that? I'll show you. So when we cut our blanks, we're cutting sections, and the section you cut here is fixed, is limited by the distance between my hands. If I take a 10-inch pole blank and say that this is as wide as I get, then I don't need to cut it any bigger spacing than 10 inches. So I cut this one at 10 inches because this here is the maximum I'm going to get. You come over to a tree like this one, so if I got 6 inches in there, it's 15 inches. So this one, when I bucked it, I eyeballed it at 16 inches. We're out here on location, and this is a big old maple. My friend let me know what was available, so we're gonna cut it into some big old bowl blanks, take it home, wax it, stick it on the shelf for 6.5 to 7 years. So yeah, let's get it done. Don't look like much, but I definitely did this all myself. There's no one behind the camera laughing. All right, we're done. We're taking it home. Let's go wax this stuff. All right, been going since 1. It's 7 o'clock, but this is great wood and it has to be protected. So I gotta do this as fast as I can so I can collapse. So let's try to do this real quick. Okay, so this wax will dry the ingrain, keep it from checking. I'll come back around sometime soon and I'll cut these into blanks so they get some of that side grain and face grain can get the moisture out. Their moisture will not come out if you're not doing that. This is Jax waiting for Mom to come home. He knows it's about that time. He's just gonna sit there and watch every car that goes by. And he'll hear the car before I can see it, and he'll know she's home.
Dog said bye.